If you are over 50 and you wake up feeling older than your age, heavy, slow, foggy, like your body forgot how to start the day, that is not aging. That is the first hour of your morning sabotaging the next 16. By the end of this video, I will show you exactly what 500 of the longest living people in North America drink the moment they open their eyes, the precise temperature, the precise amount, the precise timing, and the full 21-day cellular reset protocol I built for the readers inside the Mitochondria Reset this week for $27. But first, the place where these 500 people live and why their hearts last 20 years longer than yours statistically should: Loma Linda, California, a small town east of Los Angeles. On paper, nothing special. Strip malls, gas stations, a community college, a freeway exit. Except for one fact that has confused American cardiologists for the last 6 decades. The men who live there outlive the average American man by 7 years, and the women outlive the average American woman by 10. This is not a small statistical bump. 10 years of extra life is the kind of gap you see between developed and developing countries. And yet, it is happening inside one zip code in Southern California. The town is the world headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and the National Geographic Blue Zones research team flagged it years ago as the only blue zone on American soil. By the way, Robert from Dallas, 57 years old, walked into my consultation room 2 years ago with the metabolic panel of a man 20 years older than him. Today, 60 days into the protocol, his fasting insulin has dropped almost half, and he started sleeping through the night for the first time since his 40s. He did not find that at his cardiologist's office. He found it in the first link in the description. Anyway, back to Loma Linda. The original Adventist health study began in 1974 at Loma Linda University, tracking 34,000 Adventists over decades. The second wave, published throughout the 2000s, expanded that to almost 100,000 people across the United States and Canada. The lead researcher at the cardiovascular arm was a woman named Jacqueline Chan, and in May of 2002, she published one of the most disturbing findings in the entire history of preventive medicine in the American Journal of Epidemiology. The finding was this: among the 8,000 participants she followed for 6 years, the ones who drank 5 or more glasses of plain water per day had a 46% lower risk of fatal heart attack, compared to those who drank 2 or fewer. Not statins, not aspirin, not exercise, not vegetables. Water, measured in plain glasses, taken throughout the day. And when the team looked at the 500 longest living Adventists, the ones in their late 80s and 90s, still walking, still gardening, still driving themselves to church on Sabbath, a single morning habit appeared in nearly every single interview. They all drank the same thing within the first 10 minutes of getting out of bed. The same temperature, the same amount, the same timing, before anything else touched their mouth. No coffee, no juice, no toast, no pills. And that one ritual, repeated every morning for 40, 50, 60 consecutive years, may explain a meaningful piece of the 10-year gap. Now, before I tell you exactly what they drank, you need to understand why the first hour of the morning matters more than the entire rest of the day, and why what you're doing right now is most likely making your mitochondria older every single morning. Before I go on, I need to stop for 4 minutes and tell you what happened to Robert from Dallas, the man I mentioned a minute ago, because if you recognize yourself in his story, the rest of this video changes. And if you do not recognize yourself, you can skip ahead 4 minutes. The link is already pinned in the description. But I think you will recognize yourself. Stay with me. Robert is 57, lives in a suburb north of Dallas, runs a small construction firm with 2 of his sons. By every external metric, he was doing fine. House paid off, business stable, marriage intact, grandkids on the way. Internally, he was falling apart. He woke up exhausted no matter how many hours he slept. By 2 in the afternoon, he needed a 3rd cup of coffee just to get through estimating calls. His doctor had already started him on a statin, a blood pressure pill, and a sleep aid. 3 prescriptions before age 60, and was about to add a 4th for blood sugar. His wife, who had grown up in a town 20 miles from Loma Linda, kept telling him she had aunts and uncles in their 90s who never took a single pill. He thought she was romanticizing the past. Then his oldest daughter sent him a video, one like this one. Robert is an engineer by training. He does not believe in things. He tests them. He read every reference in the protocol: Loma Linda University, Mount Sinai, Karolinska, Stanford, the original Jacqueline Chan paper from 2002, over a single weekend. Then he started. Day 3, he woke up without the alarm and noticed the morning fog was gone for the first time in years. Day 7, he stopped reaching for the 2nd coffee at 2 in the afternoon. Day 21, he climbed onto his roof to fix a satellite dish, came down, and realized he was not winded. Day 60, his next blood panel surprised his own cardiologist. Fasting insulin nearly halved, triglycerides down by 1/3, inflammatory markers in the normal range. Here is why the mitochondria reset worked for Robert when nothing his doctors prescribed had moved the needle in 5 years. Robert had tried intermittent fasting on his own. He had tried a multivitamin. He had tried cutting carbs. None of it worked because each one was a single piece of a puzzle taken out of context. The mitochondria reset is not a diet. It is not a supplement stack. It is a sequence. What you drink the moment you wake up, in what temperature, how long before food, what to eat first, what to stop after 6 in the evening. And the sequence is what flips the cellular repair switch your body has been waiting 40 years to flip. Most adults over 50 try one piece and they add a green smoothie or skip breakfast or buy a fish oil pill, and nothing happens because the pieces in isolation do almost nothing. The whole sequence, run for 21 consecutive days, is what triples mitochondrial output and resets the entire metabolic clock. Here's what you get when you join this week. The Mitochondria Reset, the complete 21-day protocol, 7 chapters, 134 cited peer-reviewed studies, the exact morning hydration ritual taken from the Loma Linda research, the full hour-by-hour sequence. Standalone value, $47, plus 6 bonuses. The morning beverage variations chart with every variable tested for body type and age, the 6 other mitochondria foods with senior doses and pairings, the 21-day Visceral Fat Tracker, printable day by day, the talk to your doctor, script for when they push pills you do not want to take, lifetime updates, every new longevity study added automatically forever, and only for the next 48 hours after you watch this, the personal mitochondria email where you write in once with your most important question and receive a real reply from a certified specialist. Total stack value, $241. What you pay today, $27, one time, lifetime access. And if in the first 90 days the protocol does not change what you wanted it to change, you write one email with one word, refund, and every cent comes back to you. No questions, no justifications, no phone call. And you keep every single bonus, forever, even after the refund. You are not carrying any risk on this. We are. The first link in the description, gesundheitsfonds.versal.app/en, takes you straight to checkout. The personal email bonus disappears 48 hours after this video posts. If you are going, go now. Okay, back to the video. Because even if you do not pick up the protocol today, what I am going to show you next will help you for free starting tomorrow morning. And it is the part of the Loma Linda research that surprised me the most when I went back and read the original transcripts. Here's what the 500 long-living Adventists actually drank every morning. Plain water. Around 500 milliliters, about 16 ounces. Warm, never cold. Sipped slowly over 10 to 15 minutes on a completely empty stomach. Before coffee, before food, before brushing teeth in most cases, before checking the phone. That is it. No lemon required, though many added a slice. No salt, no supplements, no protein powder, just warm water. The cheapest, most boring, most ignored substance on the planet. And before you roll your eyes and click away, because I almost did the first time I read the Chon paper, let me show you what warm water on an empty stomach is actually doing to a 50-plus body in those 10 minutes. After 7 to 9 hours of sleep, you have lost about a liter of water through breath and skin. Your blood is at its thickest point of the entire 24-hour cycle. This is exactly why most fatal heart attacks happen between 6 and 10 in the morning. Thicker blood means harder workload for an already aging heart. 16 ounces of warm water within 10 minutes of waking cuts blood viscosity measurably within 20 to 30 minutes. Every cardiology textbook will confirm this, but no cardiologist will mention it before reaching for the prescription pad. Warm water, specifically, opens the pyloric valve at the bottom of the stomach and flushes the previous night's metabolic waste through the small intestine. Cold water clamps that valve shut and slows everything down, which is why ice water in the morning leaves so many people bloated and sluggish. And here is the mitochondrial piece almost nobody discusses. Mitochondria need water as a structural reactant to produce ATP, your cellular energy. A 2% drop in cellular hydration cuts ATP output by 25 to 30%. Most adults over 50 start the morning at 3 to 4% dehydrated. That is why you feel old at 7 in the morning, even when nothing is wrong with you. Quick reminder, if the Loma Linda research is hitting something for you, and you still have not grabbed the protocol, the personal email bonus disappears in less than 48 hours. After that, you can still join, but that one specific bonus is gone for good. First link in the description. Back to the video. There are 4 rules to the Loma Linda morning water ritual that separate it from just drinking a glass of water, and these 4 rules came up in nearly every single transcript Jacqueline Sean's team collected. Rule 1. Warm, not hot, not cold. Body temperature is ideal. Boiled water cooled for 10 minutes or tap water with a small amount of just boiled water added. The temperature matters more than people realize. Cold contracts, warm opens. Rule 2. 16 ounces minimum, sipped slowly. Chugging overwhelms the kidneys, and most of it ends up in your bladder in 20 minutes. Sipping over 10 to 15 minutes allows the small intestine to absorb almost all of it cellularly. Rule 3. On a truly empty stomach, not after a coffee, not after a piece of toast, not after a vitamin. The mucous lining of the stomach must be unobstructed for the warm water to do its job. The Adventists I read about would wait at least 30 minutes before eating anything. Rule 4. Sit while you drink it. Standing changes the autonomic nervous tone and rushes the process. Sitting, ideally at a kitchen table, looking outside, not at a screen, engages the parasympathetic nervous system and primes the digestive tract for the entire day. These 4 rules look absurdly small. Combined, repeated daily for years, they do what statins cannot. They keep the cardiovascular system, the kidneys, the gut, and the mitochondria all coordinated through the most vulnerable 2 hours of the day. I will not pretend this single ritual explains the entire 10-year longevity gap. It does not. The Adventists also eat mostly plants, walk daily, observe a true day of rest, and live inside a tight community. But every senior researcher who has studied them returns to the same line. If you can only adopt one habit from Loma Linda, adopt the morning water. Now, the 3 most common mistakes people make when they hear this and try it on Monday morning. The first mistake is adding lemon, apple cider vinegar, salt, or any other ingredient before the warm water has done its base work. Save those additions for the second glass, later in the day. The first glass is therapeutic only when it is plain. The second mistake is doing it for 3 days, feeling slightly better and then forgetting. The Loma Linda effect requires consistency measured in weeks and months, not days. Mark a small dot on your calendar every morning you do it. That is your accountability. The third mistake is replacing the morning coffee with the warm water entirely. You do not have to. The 2 are not in competition. The water comes first, by at least 30 minutes, and then your coffee, if you want it, lands on a properly hydrated nervous system instead of a dehydrated, panicked one. One more thing before we wrap up. Going to a longevity clinic with the issues we have covered today, morning fatigue, brain fog, visceral fat, poor sleep, dropping energy, rising inflammation, declining mitochondrial function, slow metabolism, would cost you between $1,500 and $4,000 in consultation fees alone before any tests or recommendations. I have checked the rates myself. The Mitochondria Reset gives you the same protocol, structured for the typical adult over 50, derived from the same Loma Linda research and 3 other longevity centers. Today, at the launch price, $27. Original price was $97. 90 days money back. You keep all the bonuses regardless. You're literally taking 0 risk. The personal email bonus expires at the timer in the first link. If you're going, today is the day. Continuing. Let me leave you with a picture of where this leads, because the Adventists in their 90s did not get there by accident. Imagine yourself 30 days from now. You have done the morning ritual every single day. Your blood pressure has dropped 6 to 10 points without any new medication. You wake up before your alarm, rested, with a kind of clarity you had forgotten was possible. Your afternoon energy crash is gone. You stopped buying the second coffee at the gas station. Now imagine yourself 6 months from now. Your last blood panel surprised your doctor, the one who had been pushing a new prescription every visit. Your waist is 2 notches tighter on the same belt. You played with your grandchildren on the floor and got back up without holding onto furniture. The sleep aid you used to take 3 nights a week is sitting unopened in the drawer. Now imagine yourself 10 years from now, the age at which most of your peers are entering a phase of medication stacking, mobility loss, and cognitive slip. And you are not. You are walking 3 miles in the morning without thinking about it. Your memory still works the way it did at 50. You are pricing trips, not nursing homes. This is what the Loma Linda data, accumulated over 50 years, says is statistically possible. Not certain. Nothing is certain. But statistically, dramatically more likely when the first hour of every morning is built on the correct foundation. The opposite picture is equally real. Tomorrow morning you wake up the way you did today, heavy, foggy, reaching for coffee before your eyes are fully open. In 3 weeks, this video is a vague memory. In a year, your next blood panel adds the 4th prescription. In 10 years, the gap between you and the Adventists in Loma Linda is the gap they always warned us about. Both futures are real. Both end in a reality. You are sitting at the fork right now. Before you close this video, one last thing. The first link in the description takes you to the full protocol. The personal email bonus closes 48 hours from now and does not come back. Inside that ebook is the exact morning sequence, plus the 6 other foods, plus the 21-day tracker, plus the doctor script, plus the lifetime updates. $27, 90-day refund. You keep everything. Last thing, this knowledge does not belong to a pharmaceutical industry that cannot patent warm water. It belongs to you, to your parents, to the grandchildren who deserve to see you in their wedding photos 30 years from now. Subscribe to this channel so that no one forgets what 500 Adventists in a small California town quietly proved is possible. Tomorrow morning, 16 ounces, warm, slow, sitting down. Before anything else, that is where it starts.